Okay, I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teacheth the Bible in 100% truth. And Shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, starting with the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the land of the Americas, as well as the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners living amongst the other nations. Shalom to you. Okay, I'm back today. This is a response to a video Apostle Aramla put up about a week ago. And the reason why it's taken me a whole week to respond is I haven't been very well. It's just a cold, nothing like life-threatening. Runny nose, I had a headache, and a chest, like phlegm coming up from my chest when I was coughing. So I just had to deal with that, but it was difficult. I was able to do my research and read and stuff, but I was just constantly blowing my nose, so I was unable to. I just thought, what's the point sitting here trying to do a video? Like literally blowing my nose every 15 seconds. I think that usually happens when I run myself down and just working and not eating. But what did I do? Well, I didn't go to a doctor. I didn't go to any pharmaceutical, facility, any type of medicine, pharmacia, none of that rubbish. I want to use a different word, none of that rubbish though, I'll keep it polite. I just dealt with the natural stuff. So, first couple of days it hit me, I didn't really have nothing in the house. I sent the wife out. She got me honey, ginger, the old school one, honey, lemon, hot water, and a bit of brandy in a drink, a hot drink. Dealt with that twice a day. And then I got to make up some ginger shots. When you go to the store, you can buy these things called ginger shots. They're kind of like pick-me-ups, little shots of different ingredients which can help obviously strengthen your immune system, give you they're supposed to give you like a pick-me-up. They can be called different things in the shops, but ultimately what they are, they're ginger shots, and we just make them at home. So I just got to make a batch of that, and then 2-3 days then of just backing that, and it's all gone. So I think my little one had the chesty cough first, and she brought it from school, and then obviously from there we've all caught it. But even her, I got her banging off these ginger shots, these tangy, spicy ginger shots. I've got her used to them, and she's only 4, and she bangs them off. So that's a good thing. You got to look in the natural stuff. You become ill, you can go out and spend your money, go and make an appointment with the doctor. It was running around, wasting time, energy. It's all pointless. I became unwell. All I did was buy a few natural ingredients from the shop, put them together and drink them, and that was it. And obviously now you can hear, obviously I'm a lot better. So, but yeah, that's why I couldn't really do this response. So it's kind of late a little bit, but it's responding to a video Apostle Aramla did regarding the feminization of men in the hip-hop culture. This is Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that he made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. It's talking about a golden cup, which is also repeated in Revelation 17:4 here. It says, and a woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet colour, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. So this golden cup, mentioned in the scriptures, Jeremiah and the book of Revelation, it speaks of Babylon had been a golden cup. In Jeremiah, in Revelation, it says the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet colour. So the woman was decked out in royal apparel. That's what purple and scarlet colour represent, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup. So you've got this woman with a golden cup, or Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Babylon is the same as that woman. That woman is America. When you read Revelation chapter 17:18, a lot of people relate that to, the Roman Catholic Church or this or that, but it's not. It's speaking of America, Babylon the Great, which is what's spoken of in Jeremiah. And so this golden cup in the Lord's, all capitals, Yahweh's hand, made to make all the earth drunk. It says here at the bottom in Revelation 17, the golden cup in a hand full of abominations, filthiness and fornication. So the Most High has made the world, the earth, drunk with this golden cup. He used Babylon, America. She has the golden cup in her hand. And it says here, have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. And this wine is, full of abomination, filthiness and fornication. And this goes into spiritual adultery against the Most High. So, America is the leading nation on the earth today, especially when it comes to pushing out philosophies of life. And it starts off with the democratic system. They promote, wherever you live around the world, if you're not in America, you've been influenced by America at some point, whether you realize it or not. And so, that starts off with the democratic system. That's something, the beast spoken of in Revelation chapter 13, the beast with the lamb who came as a lamb with two horns, spake as a dragon. This represents the political system. They use that to make you think you have some sort of freedom of choice, yet you're only choosing from the options they give you. The options they give you both work for the beast system, so ultimately you're trapped within this system. And this golden cup then pushes on other types of lifestyles. For example, alphabet people is one example that's quite clear to understand. The scriptures talk against alphabetism, if that is such a word. I've heard it being used. And the scriptures speak against it, but America speaks for it and says to the world, we can do this. It's okay to do this. So look, we've got science. It's Big Bang Theory. There's no such thing as the Most High. Don't worry about these people believing gods. They've all got different gods anyway. So which one of them is telling the truth? So it's all a bit of a mess. And we've got science, and we've got TV. We can promote these things to the people within the TV. They've got music, sport, and anything else that there's out there then to push the agenda of these philosophies, this wine, this abominations, filthiness, and spiritual adultery, fornication. So you have the world now being influenced by America to follow and live in that philosophy of America, which is in a way is to do what you want, even if it goes against what the Most High is promoting. Now some countries, they go with it fully, some don't. You go to African nations, they won't really deal with the alphabetism. They say, we don't want to push that on our people. Our people ain't going to have that. But we'll take your democratic system, we'll take your MOTB, your digital currency, when that comes to play, and we'll be part of it. So you can be in Africa, for example, and say, Babylon the Great hasn't affected us when it comes to these alphabet people. Yeah, but they affected you with your political system, with the MOTB, with the world financial system, the fact that you're broke and America are a wealthy nation. All that is all controlled by America through the beast system. So you read in Revelation chapter 17 about the woman being America, and the woman rides the beast. The beast spoken of in Revelation chapter 13, and which raised up out of the sea. The ancient Roman Empire, it had a wound, deadly wound. It fell away and it came back to power when the wound was healed. That is the revised Roman Empire, what we live in today. So that beast then rose back up out of the earth, and eventually it will ask you to take the MOTB, the digital system. So music is a massive part of it. And back to what Apostle Aram Lab spoke of, he spoke of the feminization of men in hip-hop since 2010s. And I think if you the point was made, and if you look back to like the early 2000s, it's quite true. You look at the hip-hop stars, men, and they were dressed very manly. You had the big jeans, the big denim trousers, whatever whatever they call them in America, pants. They had the Timberland boots, the big leather jackets. You had the odd like bandana here and there or whatever, and there was a very rough exterior. When you're looking at the men within the industry of hip hop, and we know hip hop's a big thing because it starts off in America. It's it's Israelite men on the streets that are trying to make something for themselves. They grow up in a world, they don't see many options. They see music as an option. They get into it and they make their music, they put it together. Israelites having this talent, it's able to reach all around the world, and many people around the world follow hip hop. And many people around the world, Israelites, lost, these are lost souls, lost their identity, lost their culture, living amongst the other nations. They grow up looking for identity. Now, me finding out I'm an Israelite eventually, I realized why I have a connection to other Israelites. But, when I was growing up, I didn't know that. So I'm looking at people in America and something about, the way they're doing stuff, these Israelites, these Jakes. And now I understand why I'm attracted to it, because it's a similar culture of the nationality that I am. And so these Israelites in America have pushed out this hip-hop culture. You see it, from the outsider's point of view, for example, you hear a lot of rappers coming from Brooklyn. They talk about life in Brooklyn, how they grew up, whatever they did, whatever they went through, some of the struggles. Okay, sounds a bit rough. They talk about some of the rough things they had to do to get out of the situation. That's cool, because people over here, we're doing the same stuff. I'm over here and I've had to go through certain scenarios. I had to go hustling on the streets when I was young. I didn't want to do it. I was, one point I wasn't working. I used to just go out there and hustle, make cash. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have a job. I actively knew to myself every day, I'd rather have a job and earn a wage and be like a normal person, but it wouldn't work. Through the curses, through whatever. You never knew what the curses were. You're just dealing with the situation you got. So what happens? You end up just doing what you can. Me, I ended up doing, hustling things on the street for a long time and making cash out of it, earning a living out of it. And I actively knew I didn't want to do that, but I had to do it because I was trying to make money in a society that I grew up in, which was confusing, which was suppressing me. And you've got nothing to back you, no money, no family, no one comes along and says, this guy is going to be the next big thing. So what happens? You're just out there on your own doing your thing. This happens to Israelites all around the world. So what a lot of them do, they look at music and they go, well, I'm good at this and I can make money. So if I make money, I can bypass the system, make money, and forget about going into the system. Because what Jake has realized, if Jake doesn't know he's Jake, and Jake doesn't understand the curses, but what Jakes around the world do know is that they always seem to get a problem when it comes to making the money. So you learn that very quickly, and that's why Jake is very good at making ulterior ways of making money. And rather than just get the job, get the education, get the good job, Jake will go, well, I'll hustle my way out of this, or I will do the music thing. To that degree, you see, even myself, I remember Biggie Smalls used to say, you hustle, you make your money, and you buy your Benz, and you drive out the hood. And so that, to me, that was the point. That was my target. And so, if you like, that's kind of what I did. I made my P. I hustled, made my P, and now I moved away from London, moved away from that scenario, that scene, moved into a completely different lifestyle. I didn't want to be in that lifestyle, but being in that lifestyle, you've got to get your way out of it somehow. Or many Jakes drown in the ghettos, if you like, in the projects, in the council estates. They drown within gang culture. They drown within these things before they make it out of there. So, reason why that was interesting to me, because obviously now, Apostle Ramlan mentioned it, now since 2010 they're pushing an effeminate viewpoint of men in hip-hop, because they know the powers that be in small hats that control the media, control the music industry, that control the banking system, they control the institutions which are racist against you, and now they affect your culture. by getting people that you look up to, we shouldn't be looking up to hip-hop stars, but our people are lost, so they do look up to hip-hop stars and sports stars. But the scriptures tell us we should be looking up to our forefathers within the scriptures rather than to local rapper or the local the ball player. But our people are lost. They're looking up to these celebrities and these small hats. They know that obviously if they can feminize the man within hip hop, the Israelite man on the street is generally going to follow. And that's what we've seen over the last 10, 15 years. You see now rappers with red hairstyles, feminine clothes, and then you see men on the street dressing, feminine. You got men out here, for example, with, what's this thing about skin tight trousers, skin tight pants, skin tight jeans? What's this about? Men wearing skin tight jeans. You see men all over the place, and when it goes down to their ankle, it's tight around their calf, tight around that. What's this about? This is a feminine look. This is a, even though scriptures tell you that women should be wearing skirts. Obviously, women wear trousers. They wear women's trousers in this modern day society. They wear leggings. So you could say to the woman, you should be in a skirt. You shouldn't be in the trousers. I've heard people argue, no, these aren't men's. Scriptures tell you that men shouldn't wear women's clothes. Women shouldn't wear men's clothes. These aren't men's trousers. These are women's trousers. They're cut for a woman. No. They're trousers. They're made for a man, and obviously now they may come out with a woman version. So that is what you shouldn't be wearing. But then now it's gone to a deeper level. So now you have the men copying the women. So the women, started off by wearing trousers like men. Then they did it in a feminine way by having them skin tight, showing their figure, whereas the man keeps it all, kind of loose around his leg, which is cool. And then, what I mean by cool is that you can differentiate between it, because you can understand the woman. You don't want to see no, man like all skin tight trousers. But now, fast forward 2024, you'll see a couple walking down the street. The woman's got skin tight leggings, and the man's got skin tight jeans, and you're looking at them both like, what the hell? It's like, what you're looking at. So like you can see men have just come round in the thinking, especially since I've been alive. I can see the full cycle from the 80s to now. The thinking, the dress sense is messed up. And being mentioned, the fact that there's an agenda within hip hop since 2010 where they push that vibe amongst the stars. I have my own story to tell, because I know quite a few people within the UK who are music stars, if you like, music people. Now what it is, when I was young, I grew up with this guy basically. This is DJ Cameo. He became a big DJ basically in the UK. First of all, it was like on an underground thing. It's funny, I was searching around actually. So we used to be on this underground radio station, and I actually found my name. You can see the MC Boss at the bottom. So that's what they would have called me. He's got DJ Saitu Sly, that's Simon, back to back with Vec. I can't remember who Vec is. So that was me, MC Boss. Now what it is, when you play this, I've played it. When you play that, you're not going to hear me. I don't know why my name's written there, but whatever plays here doesn't it play someone else. But so this was me hanging around, with this particular person. He got onto Radio 1 Extra, so he became quite big in the 2000s. And he's a DJ, so he'd play started off with, in the UK, for example, in America, you've got like hip hop. So what I would say is that hip hop is like a process beat. It's not, you can play hip hop with a band, with a drum and a guitar and a saxophone, but hip hop is generally produced on a computer, like a computerized process beat. I've been there myself. I've taken sounds, I've put them into the machine, I've taken the sound and turned it into, brought out 3 different tones of that same sound and then used it in a song. And then people go, oh, where'd you get that sound from? You go, that's me knocking on my front door, or that's me dropping this, or that's that. So I've been there around these people. I've seen them do it. I've done it myself, making songs, those process type of beat, getting a rapper, what you would call a rapper. In America, they call it a rapper. In the UK, they're gonna most likely to call it an MC. So what it is hanging around with this particular person, then obviously I got into the industry. This is in my 20s. I was hustling, making cash, weren't working, so I had all day. And I had everything I need. I had a car, I had all this, I had that. So I had all the free time in the world. In my 20s, I used to lie in bed all day till about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I used to wake up. People would come home from work at 5 o'clock. I used to go out and hustle all night. And at 11, 12 o'clock, my job was done. I spent all night hustling. I had a brand new car. And then from midnight, I had nothing to do until 5 o'clock the next evening. So I'd end up, even when I stopped doing the music, I still hung around, saw these people, went through process over the course of 10, 15 years, seeing these people change. And so that hanging around with that DJ, you think about it in the hip hop world, for example, the DJ goes round to the venues, plays, and then all the crews, the MC crews or the rapping crews or the groups of men who want to spit fire on the mic, they're at these different venues waiting for the DJ to turn up, because the DJ's got the fire tunes. And that's who the Cameo was. Cameo at that time was quite well known. He was known for being a diva. I see, I can't speak to these people anymore. That Cameo, he tried to contact me. I told him I can't be hanging around with you. I told him a few times, you're a diva, you're this, you're that. I can't deal with you anymore. I've known him from when I was a boy. 8, 9 years old. And then got to the age of like 30, 35. And I just said, bro, I just can't deal with you. Between 30 and 35 was a moving away process where slowly I started telling him about himself. Eventually I stopped ringing him. And then, a few times he's tried to contact me back, and I don't really want to go there. And then obviously since then I've got into the truth. And then you realise, scriptures tell you, you obviously, well, not even the scriptures tell you, a certain spirit jumps on you. And you tend to put up a barrier between you and the rest of the world, because now you realise there's a lot of demons out there and you have to step lightly. But what it is, every now and again I can phone the odd person that I'm cool with and get a bit of info or find out what's happened. There's a lot of talk within the music industry. You get to find out who's who, especially with the DJ, because the DJ goes from club to club and knows who's dealing with who's getting what record deal, who's signing this, who's looking at that, who's doing whatever. So, hanging around with that DJ and a few other people, over the course of 10, 15 years, I couldn't tell you how many clubs I've been to. Sometimes I went to 8, 9 clubs in a week, and there's only 7 nights. And sometimes I went to only 3 or 4 clubs in a week, and I'd go for free. I'd just roll in. So I know these people. I know them by face. I know all these people in the UK, like the hip hop people in America, trying to make a name for themselves, trying to bypass the system. You realise your job ain't really cutting it. You want to make some cash. You realise you're good at music, so you do your thing. Now these, like I say, in the UK, in America you have hip hop and rap. In the UK you started off with like jungle, which is like a process beat. With a rapper, very fast tempo. Then it would turn into like house and garage, a bit more slower tempo. And then it sort of turned into a 2-step beat into the early 2000s. And then by sort of the mid 2000s, it turned into grime. They called the music grime. It's essentially the same thing. It's a process beat, playing this music, putting beats together, and then got a man rapping over it at a certain tempo, spitting about how he's going to come to your mum's house and set it on fire or whatever else. This is what you get. It's gone. Obviously, we know hip hop has gone from wave your hands in the air like you don't care. Fast forward to I'm going to shoot up everybody with a Uzi, to now, to the kind of stuff they're saying now. And it's the same thing in the UK. So you start off with like, in UK garage, there was a lot of like, party, this, that, and the other. But then it turned into grime, and then 2-step, and then grime, and then by the time The music turned into grime. The rappers were talking about coming to your mum's house and setting it on fire. So you've it's no different from what's happened in America, and I've watched it grow. I've seen it, and I know some of these people. And like, so this DJ, when he's going around places, you know, you get to know these different crews. And one of the crews here is, for example, Boy Better Know, and they're quite well known in the UK. You've got a Shorty at the front, on the left there. You've got Jamie. You've got Skepta in the back, Maximum on the left, and a few others. And there's all different types of crew. You know, people used to get to know this is Marcus Nasty. This is Target. You see Target. You see him on TV a lot now. See, so what happens? You know, you fast forward 10, 15 years, and now I see these faces on TV, and I know these people. I know them through, you know, hanging around and whatever else. And so what it is, you know, some of them have gone on to make certain bits of fame and certain name for themselves. And one particular person is this one, Skepta. And this is what brings you back to the topic of the feminization of men in hip-hop. So I know this guy. I've spent time hanging around with him. You know, even to the point where you know, I've been to like holiday venues. You go out there, these people are all playing, all these artists coming from the UK flying out, Holiday Island, like Ibiza, Napa, all these type of places. I've been there, I've been out there. So then I've seen these people, got to know them, hanging around with them, with people from a different country hanging around in the next country. So you kind of end up sticking together as a, you know, huge, massive, and like crew. And then what happens is, obviously throughout the season, people come out, they fly out. Don't forget, I wasn't working, so I had nothing to do. I had cash on the hip, and I was just chilling. So I'm out there, and I see these different artists flying out left and right. And then I'm seeing the processes that we're going through. So I've seen, like, for example, Skepta, seen him getting drunk with the boys, seen him talking about the football, seen him, you know, grabbing up chicks here, grabbing up women there, grabbing up girls there, banging chicks left, right and centre. I've seen him do all the usual things that men do when, you know, men are normal men. You hang around with the boys, you know, you might watch the football, you might get drunk, you might go out looking for chicks, you might get drunk and sit there playing pool all night, or whatever. So, you know, you go through these processes with this, and this particular person, I've been through it. And what it is now, when you fast forward to 2024, Skepta is now wearing women's clothing. Okay, so he's like what you call a rapper, an artist in the music industry. And since 2010, we have the feminization of men, Israelite men in the hip hop industry, and Skepta is one of those guys. And someone that I've actually known and spoke to, and he's actually been turned by the industry. So the story with Skepta is that, you know, again, knowing people, I could make a phone call, find out information. So the story with Skepta is that he, you know, everyone's trying to do their thing. Everyone's trying to make it. They're in the scene, they're in the industry. They're trying to make a next song, get blow up, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And then apparently, he's going back now, 2015, 2016, apparently somebody asked, Skepta had this meeting with these particular people. This is what I've heard. And this lady, he had this meeting with this lady, and ever since he had the meeting with this lady, things have changed. And how things have changed? First of all, you see him wearing this. So he's wearing female clothing. I think this is back in 2016. And he's in the interview, he's speaking to the woman, and in the interview he says, yeah, I just like wearing women's clothing. I just think it's okay, blah, 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 all this nonsense. So now you look at it, you're like, what happened to this guy? I've seen you, like a man's man, a manly man. I've seen you doing the things that, you know, men do. You know, you had a little bit of fame, a little bit of P, You had a few chicks throwing themselves at you. So I've seen you kind of getting what most men want in this world. Yet somehow that's driven you now to the point where you're wearing women's clothing. How is that? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? And so, it goes back to the meeting, because what happened is what I heard is he had the meeting, and after the meeting he started wearing the women's clothing, and then after that certain things started happening. First of all, Drake signs to Skepta's North London label Boy Better Know. This is February 2016. So now Big Drake is, headhunting little old Skepta. So I don't know what's going on, it ain't loading. So all of a sudden he started reaching another level of fame, another level of notoriety after having this specific meeting, then going out and wearing women's clothing, speaking about it in an interview, promoting it, and next thing you know, he's got Drake all trying to sign up to him. Then he started getting touted. Look, Naomi Campbell. Now, Skepta's a couple of years younger than me. I seen him smashing all these, pretty white chicks, and now you're going out with some 60-year-old grandmother. How old is Naomi Campbell? She's old enough to be my grandmother. Her pom-pom, how many times has that been beaten by different people? Would you even want to go there? But he was there. And so what it is, it's a celebrity thing. It's to bring him notoriety, to bring him into the public view. And so now I think what's happened is they've split, and then now he's got a new one. He's got Adele. Well, no, he's not with Adele now, I don't think. But then he had hang on, I'm just trying to find you a picture, because where was it? Yeah, then he started getting linked with this one. So then he's supposed to be having a relationship with this one. And again, this is a famous person who, you look at this person, if you've been dying to become famous for years and years and years, you want that fame, you want that notoriety, you want that power, you want that money, you want all those women baying at you, baying at your door. And so you become famous, and all of a sudden now you've gone out with Naomi Campbell, who's old enough to be a grandmother, and now you're going out with Adele. And you look at Adele and say to me, what's no different from any old Edomite woman that you can find working in an office down the street? There's nothing different from the way she looks to what they look. So what makes you go for these people? You see, it's all a setup. He had the meeting, he wore the feminine clothing, he admitted to it, and now he gets, he's hanging around with these famous girlfriends. And so this is all them pushing him into that society. And like I say, this is someone I know. This is someone that I've seen, I've hung around with. Him, his brother, Jamie, and this Boy Better Know, the other one, that's his brother. You know them. And now you're just seeing him do this. And you can clearly, and I'm looking at him like, why would you go out with these dead, dry women? And it's all a setup. And when you go back to it, when you actually go back to this scene, if you were to watch this video, what you notice sometimes with these rappers, these mumble rappers, these modern day red hair, freaky, tattoo-faced mumble rappers, you notice a lot of them, they're always like super, super high. Okay, so there's always, there's like, some people get drunk, okay, some people like, they smoke weed or whatever, then okay, cool. And then there's like taking like class A high level drugs that send you to a completely different planet. You can't even, drugs that make you not even be able to pronounce a word and get your word out. Stuff like MDMA and all these other things. So what you'll notice, a lot of them are on that. And Skepta, when he gave the interview here and he's speaking about women's wearing clothing, he was doing the same thing. He couldn't speak properly, going, like he's all chewing his tongue. And then you realise what he's done. He had the meeting. He got told, look, you go and promote these things and we'll make you that superstar. We'll get you dates with Naomi Campbell, dates with Adele. We'll blow you up and you'll be a megastar. He took the bait. And out of all the people that I know, he's obviously clearly taken the bait. And then it comes the night where you have to go and wear the thing. So now you have to like somehow block it out of your mind. And that's why they take these drugs. You know, why is it you spent all these years chasing that money, chasing that fame? You've got everything you want. And now all you can do with it is just get totally smashed off your face. It's because you're trying to forget why you're there. And so the day that he went out here, he'll tell you, no, I'll do it all the time, this, that, and the other. Yeah, whatever. Why did you do it that specific day? Because you had to put this on and go out and tell them on the camera that, yes, I like wearing women's clothing. So you get that effect. You get the effect where you get these jakes that are just smashed off their face. They're famous, and they're smashed off their face because they're trying to forget what they did. Or you get the Justin Bieber syndrome. You see, Justin Bieber, you always see him biting people's heads off, snapping at the reporter, angry. It's like something inside is deeply upsetting him. And now we know why. Because you're having to go down on this guy, on that guy, on that guy, on that guy. And so now I get it. Now I know why you're snapping at the reporter. Because, you know, you're living that lifestyle, you got that P, you know, you're jumping in these big cars, these big whips, jumping on private jets and whatever. But there's moments, there's certain little moments that might have lasted 60 seconds, might have lasted 2-3 hours. And these moments of their lives, they have to do certain things to get what they got. And you don't want to be in that position, if I'm honest. You don't want to have to be that somebody. As much as it might, the money, the fame, you don't want to have to be that person who's trying to forget what you did. You think of Judas Iscariot, you know, what he did. He couldn't get away from what he did. It is prophecy, end of the day. He did what he did to Yahushua. He couldn't get away from it. He had to live with it. So what did he do? He took his own life. And that's what happens to some people. It gets them to that point. So, you know, when you see the mumble rapper on TV, you know, can't even get his words out, smashed off his face, got everything he wants in the world, but yet he still wants to take these drugs to destroy himself, to destroy his motor skills and send his brain into a different planet. Why are you doing that? Because you have to forget what you did to get there. You know, and so like with Skepta, yeah, so like he had the meeting, started wearing women's clothing, then he's you know, getting linked with these women's. Don't forget, you know, he came from this. Look, this is the crew he came from. Look, boy better know. Look at Skepta at the back there with the hat. You know, this man, if I said to you, this man, you know, 15 years later is going to be wearing women's clothing, you know, would you believe it? But if I said to you, 15 years later he'll be wearing women's clothing because the powers that be would have made him do it, and they would have propelled his fame, you know, then you would believe it. So I was poor. This is Jama. This is another one. He's another idiot. You know, these people, they just you know, Jama's not big like Skepta, but you see these people, you can see it in them. They would just give up their soul just to make it. And that desperation within them, you can see it. And you see them, you speak to them on on a consistent basis. Now, I get to know these people, but it's not like I'm swapping phone numbers. Some of them, you know, some people, yeah, cool. Some people, I'm not swapping phone numbers with them. But I see them 5, 6, 7 times a week for a 10-year period. So you're going to get to know them. And then you get to know what they're about. And a lot of them are desperate. You know, I don't know who that is there. But yeah, so anyway, back to Skepta. So Skepta's come from that. He's worn the thing, the female clothing. He's getting linked with these famous women. And then now they start giving him, you know, his label. So now he's been given a fashion label. Skepta Fashion Week. So this is from his fashion label. Look, so they're doing to him is he's turning into a small time Kanye West. You see, he's this bugged out music star that's into fashion, into music, but he has to promote something. So you give it another 10, 15 years, he finds out he's a Hebrew Israelite, and then he'll be bugging out the same way Kanye West is. Actually, going back to that, Skepta is Nigerian, and Nigerians are Hamites, Africans, but there are lots of Israelites scattered on the west coast of Africa, and so that's where Nigeria is. And so there's a huge possibility that he's an Israelite, and what leads us towards thinking that he maybe is. It's because he has what they call musical talent. So chances are he's an Israelite. He's from Nigeria, and what they're doing is turning him into a mini Kanye West. Now you don't see his brother Jamie anywhere. I mean, look at this kind of stuff. This is the guy. Come on, man. I remember one time me and someone, we came across him, the whole Boy Better Know crew. We said, what's going on here? Because he looked a bit agitated. And you know what? Skepta puffed his chest out. He said, we're waiting for certain people to come. We're waiting for them, and when they come, it's on. We're waiting for someone else to turn up so they can knock them out. And I laugh and I think to myself, damn. I fast forward, 18 years later, and you're dressing like this. You're dressing. That guy that has wanted to knock people out is now dressing. That's a woman's. That is. If a woman wore that, I'd go cool. If a man wore it, I'd be like, bro, you need to go and change. I mean, it looks warm, yeah, I'll give you that. But he's into this Skepta style. So he's into this fashion thing, and then they give him these. They're giving him this brand, Mains or something like that. They've given him a brand name. They link him with Drake, link him with Adele, link him with Naomi Campbell, all from the meeting, and starting to wear women's clothing. I mean, look at this one, man. Skepta, what are you doing, man? What are you actually doing? When I talk to people, that's what we wonder. You look at him here, right? So yeah, Skepta from the road, ghetto, looks normal. And then on other days, so there you go. Look, it met his idol. Look, Kanye. There you go. The super weirdo. Giving a big up to the wannabe super weirdo. And like I say, I've no Skepta. He probably sit there getting pissed. Like if he heard this, he ain't gonna hear it. But his head's in another world. But if he heard it, he'd be like, oh, blah, 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 chatting shit. End of the day, you're a pum pum, bruv, because you're wearing women's clothing. I've seen you gone from a man on the street to this man in the media wearing women's clothing, wearing all this batty boy shit. You hang around with super weirdos. If I saw Kanye, I'd run a mile. I don't want to talk to this guy. You tell him he's a Hebrew Israelite, and he's one of them ones. He knows that, but then he twists it. You see, another one as well. Who's the other one? Wiley. I don't know if you've seen it a few years back. Another guy called Wiley. And what happened? He found out about the small hats. You see, what happens to these people? They got into the music industry, and they're making money. They're doing their thing. They're being controlled, and then they find out the truth. They see what the Hebrew Israelites are. Oh, look, these are your enemies. They're doing this to you, and then it bugs them out. But what it is, they can't leave the lifestyle that they're in. They can't leave it. They don't know nothing else. And then so you've got now a guy that I know, Skepta. He's following in this guy's footsteps, basically. You can see it. Just wants to be Kanye. But Kanye is just a bug out. That's all he is. He's a super huge bug out. And old Skepta is going that way. He'll say, no, bruv, this, that, and the other. See, look, British rapper, Skepta. So, you have the feminization of Israelite men in rap culture. Now, this isn't particularly rap. This is if you like a UK version. But it's the same thing. It's music that's reaching Israelite men on the street. I mean, you look at him here, you look at him there, looks totally normal. Totally normal. And then, he starts getting a little bit, okay, yeah, cool, you can deal with that, and then he just starts going left. But, like I say, now he's got, obviously, his label. I mean, what's this? They say this man's got fashion. I mean, come on, man. Who matched the outfit? A blind man. I mean, every colour, nothing matches. I don't know. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, eh? Maybe I'm just too old-fashioned. But you see, that's, I don't know, Skepta. He's a weird one. He's a weird one. But, yeah, they do it all the time. It's not just in, music, it's obviously in sport as well. Another one I want to show you quickly. So you got David Beckham, for example. David Beckham's more famous than any football team he's ever played for. But David Beckham isn't that great of a football player. David Beckham got one hell of a promotion team to push him out there. Do you know that David Beckham is a small hat? David Beckham played for Real Madrid, the Jesuit team. Now you look at, this is a Real Madrid football team. Vinny Jr., Israelite Brazilian, look, dressing normal. And you see Real Madrid players, Cisse, they had this award ceremony. This is last December. But what it is, you got this guy, Bellingham. Look at him. Now, 2 years ago, no one really knew this guy. Unknown. Jude Bellingham. And then he had an outstanding season, 2022 to 2023 in Germany. And the whole world wanted to buy him. And who bought him? The biggest team in the world, Real Madrid. And what happens when you go to Real Madrid, they tap you on the shoulder. They say, look, you've got talent, but we can take you to that next level of fame. We can make you more famous than the football clubs you play for. David Beckham, who did he play for? People start stuttering. How do you not know? So how do you know him if you don't know who he played for? That's how you should know him. You should know him through that. But if I tell you many famous football players, you're going to know who they played for. Only certain football players, if you say Pele, Maradona, people know the names, they don't know who they played for. And same thing with David Beckham. And Jude Bellingham's the next one. And you see this guy with talent turn up on the scene. All of a sudden, this big team sign him. He goes over there. Now he's got this celebration, which is Messiah-like, where he puts his arms out. This is all promotional. And then now, in December, you saw him go to the award ceremony wearing these, you could call them two skirts, one around each leg. So they do it in the music as well as the sport. Now, it's funny because you see all that talk I gave you about the music industry and all these people that I know, and I know all these people in the music industry, and all these people, some are still there, still trying to make a P. They're working part-time. Some made it to some big famous level. They've gone international. They're doing this, they're doing that. And then you've seen Skepta, he's out there. He's probably reached the highest level of fame, and he, God knows what other shit he's doing with it to get there. But then you have the other story, you see. So this is Tempa T. And Temps, again, a grime MC. Look at him. With a uniquely aggressive style, I'll put it like that, when it came to MCing. And you can see, by the way he's trained himself up, Temps ain't fucking around, basically. But you see, now what I hear about Temps now is that when you see Temps, you see him with a KJV in his hand. That's what I hear. Everywhere you see Temps now, apparently you're going to see him with a KJV. So it goes both ways. It's coming out of that scene, that scenario, getting to know all these people, these so-called rappers in the UK scene, everybody, trying to make it out the hood, so on and so forth. There's all these different stories. Like I say, there's different people doing different things. Like Target, he's on TV. I see him on TV all the time. You've got Skepta. Skepta's now wearing women's clothing, and he's linked with Naomi Campbell, Adele, and Kanye West. He wants to be a mini bug out. And then you've got Temps. Temps went on to, that is Temps, right? He went on to, now he's into the scriptures. So it's funny, it's funny how life turns out, but it's all back to the feminization of men, Israelite men within the hip hop scene. And don't forget, Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And like I say, it goes into all types of philosophies, and one of them is the music, the culture that gets pushed. Israelite men around the world, they don't have their identity, they're lost. You look at Skepta. Skepta's calling himself a Nigerian living in UK, probably calls himself British. He probably doesn't know what's going on. Well, he doesn't know what's going on. Really, you're probably an Israelite. And then you give him the book, the scriptures, you say, this is your book, learn how your people are supposed to be, and all of a sudden, you get a completely different person. But our people are lost. They're out there, they're lost. They're looking for any philosophy to follow, to be associated with. And a lot of these philosophies are pushed from America. And so you'll see that similarity with the Israelite men in other nations going through similar problems. So I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that was edifying. Until next time, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakah Kwadash. Until next time, Shalom.